Hello, Tula here. Today I would like to show you how I create these sort of flowers or leaves, whatever you see them as, and using two different nibs to create them. I'll zoom you closer. The Brause Blue pumpkin I use to create the outline shapes, like this. And then for the veining, for the thin lines, I use a Maru nib. So this is the Brause Blue pumpkin. I chose it because I can get nice thick lines, but it's not very scratchy, so I can move any side I want, and so I can draw very freely with this nib and still get a bit of variation with the line width. And the Maru, this is a Tachikawa Maru. This one gives me really nice thin lines that I can define the shape of each petal with. And I maybe should take a moment to speak about my holders. They are both Tachikawa holders. This wooden one, it's a little smaller, as you can see. It's the T25, and the larger one is the T36, and this one has it's also wooden. It's a bit longer and wider, I think, as well, and it has this rubber band around it. And what I like about these holders is that each of them can hold both types of nibs. So both the smaller mapping nibs, the round ones, and the curved nibs, the regular ones. So I can switch them over and maybe even have two on on one holder. And I usually enjoy working with the smaller one, with the wooden one. It's very light and I'm really comfortable with it. But for some reason, with the larger blue pumpkin nib, I enjoy the T36 more. So it's a matter of preference, and it's lucky because working with two nibs and having both holders, I can have the holder I'm more comfortable with each nib. Okay, so did I show you the paper I'm working on? Not sure. The paper is Hahnemuhle Nostalgie. It's 190 grams paper, and I like it for ink work because it's really smooth, really nice and smooth, and the ink goes on it beautifully. No bumps, no paper fibers getting caught in the nib. It's really nice, but printer paper, if it doesn't bleed, will work as well. Anything you're comfortable with. So what I enjoy about these leaves is that when I start with the larger nib, I can be very free and loose, and then I get more thoughtful and focused when I define the shapes with the smaller nib. Now I want to try something with you. I want to try to create the same sort of shape. I hope they come out similar enough. And I would like to see if we can make the petal or the leaf look different just with the lines that we create with the Maru nib. Let's see. I get confused and then they come out different than I planned. I'll try to be focused and I'll try not to touch the wet ink. I'm really good at smearing ink. Okay, so this one maybe make a really... This is my dog barking outside. Sorry about that, I hope the dogs will keep quiet. Now, with this one I'll try to do it the other way. I'll use this point as the center. When I create the thinner lines, I try to vary them, the distances between them, so they don't look too mechanical. And with this one, how about we make an S curve? Or the other way? I think this way. Let's try. Doesn't hurt to try. Okay, so with these two came out a little too similar. Let's try another one. And let's try to make it maybe the other way. Maybe curving. No, it's the same. Okay, no. Told you, my hand wants to do what it wants to do. Doesn't care about me. Try to do something more like this one. So make it really curve. Okay, it does look like it's curling, but we don't see the meeting point where they would all meet on the other side. So I think we can determine that we can use the same sort of shape to create different kinds of petals. You know what, let's take this one step further. I should clean my nib first. Okay, so let's try different approach. Oops. one. I'll make this one go the other way. Let's do it here. So I'm keeping it still in the center, trying to make the rectangle look like a curving leaf despite being rectangle, just by now this one I want to try to make it look like it's folding on both sides. So I'll try to have a puffed center. Yeah. And this one, let's try to make it an S, like it's curving. So with the same sort of shape, we can create a different feel by the way that we create the thinner lines. And for me at least, with these sort of petals, that happens quite intuitively when I look at the shape that I created. Let's start. So, to create my my leaf shapes, I just place one random leaf. And I try to make it narrower where I plan to attach it to the rest of the leaves, so that they appear, of course, to come out of a central point. And I'm creating these sort of trapezoid, rectangular, triangular sort of shapes. And sometimes I like to create a leaf that is like very thin, so it will look like it's sideways. We can add another line to see the fold or not. And my plants seem to have 5 petals, so I have 4 here. Let's add another one over here, like this. So just really free drawing and something to hold all these petals or leaves, creating this sort of cup. And in this series I have branches that are very straight. Let's create another one. Let's make maybe a baby bunch. 1, 2, and 3. My cup, and I'll attach it to the other branch. Straight lines, and I'm not trying to blend the connection. On the other hand, I'm intensifying it. It's visible. And the branch is going to continue over here somewhere, so I want to disrupt it. I want to cover it with another bunch of leaves, so I'll make them over here. This, I already see it as a turning leaf petal. Let's make another one over here, 4, and my 5th one is here. Little cup. And I want to make another one over on this side facing the left. For me, it takes a lot of the pressure of just creating these very quick shapes and not having to be exact or precise. There's no right or wrong. These are imaginary shapes. I forgot this branch. Let's see where it goes on. Okay. So maybe disrupt it. With another little bunch here. So this will be another This has to dry. Do you see how wet the ink still is? So what we'll do is we'll color line the design I started to make last night. I was just sitting in front of the TV and creating one after another. It's really enjoyable. And what's nice about the ink is that you don't need to have a lot of things around you. Okay, so my decision where to start is a practical one. I'm trying to think of which way I have to go around that I will not smear the rest of the ink, so I will start with this one. I prefer to start at the outer edges of each petal and go inwards, although you can go the other way, of course. It's whatever you're comfortable with. This is more comfortable for me because I rely on bumps in the lines sorry, to decide where to place my lines. So start with this one. Do you see this little dent? Maybe zoom in. We check that I'm in focus. Now we're focused and I've lightened the settings a little bit. So, hope my ink didn't dry on the nib. You see this little dent here? This is an opportunity to create a line there. and I'm trying to stretch it over here to where the petal bursts from. Now let's look for another opportunity. Do you see this little bump? Tiny, tiny bump. And just to create variety, I'll make another line by it. Usually, if I have areas that are bulging out, I try not to put a line in the middle of them. Well, it depends. If I have a corner, I will, but I think they give the feeling of being wider and closer to us, and so I want the lines to be in the valleys and not in the on the hills. And this is I see a hill here, and also I see a hill, small one here. I can actually add another line over here. Now I have a second line here, so maybe this petal is turning. So if it's turning and it has to connect over here, then that means that my lines go this way. Let's create a few more over here. Okay, and the other side. And this is one petal or leaf. Now I have this one, and you can guess my eye immediately goes to this little point I have here, and this could be my central vein. And when I look at the shape, I don't imagine a straight line going over here, but I imagine it again curling. So my line could be going here, disappearing from view over here, and connecting behind this area. And once I create one line, it's easier to define the rest of them. So I just grab hold of whatever visual clues and anchors I can find. Okay. Now, if I imagine it curling, I can see this area going like this. I would have liked it to come to the center, but this is what came out. And another point, I'm trying not to continue lines that are met. So if I create a line over here, it will be too confusing for the viewer to differentiate the leaf in front from the leaf in the back. So I'll try not to continue my line exactly over here. Let's continue this area, and I'll go on with the curve on the other side. Now that I have it set, I just imagine them all on a surface that's turning. And for the central part, make another one here and another one here. Okay, now let's go on. This one connects over here, and what I'm trying to ask myself is it curving this way, or is it going back, or is it straight? I think it's going this way. So I'll just grab a hold of a visual anchor, and for me it's this point that I can imagine a line going over here. And once I have one, it's easier to continue with the rest. Maybe add just another one for difference, for variety. And you see this bump? This is, I see a hill here, so I'll create my line in the valley. And I'm following the same shape that I've started. Maybe another here. Sorry. Alright, next one. This one, because it's in front, I think it should be like this. So if the back one that we just made was like this, the front one could be rounding the shape from the other side. So what's my visual anchor? There's this one, but also this point here where the lines don't meet, that also attracts my attention. I think I'll go with it. That's it. This one line defined the shape of the leaf. And now the rest, just follow it. Imagine a sunburst. So they're all coming from the same point and spreading out. Because it's curved, we see the okay. And I think it's sometimes hard to put into words intuition, although you know intuition is experience, that's all. Okay, we're starting to see a shape develop here, and we have one more. This is a large one, and this point here, you see that I'm usually gravitating toward a point in the middle, because that helps me understand the curvature of the leaf. So I think it will go this way. We can't see it connecting. Sorry. Now, because we have this burst, that comes from a central point, I'm not going to draw these lines straight, but I want them to come into this center that we can't see. What do you think? Did you try it yourselves? And For my cups, I decided to color them and not leave them white. And add so with some cross hatching. That's it. Nothing fancy. So this is basically it. I'll go on and I'll try to explain what I do as I go along, but I think you got the principles. I'm sorry about my voice today. I hope I was able to show you how you can control the shape by the lines that you stroke it with. I'm going on with this flower here. And again, practicality. I'm starting with the petals that I will not touch again, that I won't smear the ink. And this one I see as curving again slightly sideways, so maybe the center is hidden here somewhere. That's what I'll do. And following the same curve that I defined, I'm trying to now this will be a complicated area because of the turn. So if our center is here somewhere behind, these should go like this. We'll see. I'll start closer to my lines that I've already created, and we'll tackle what's going on here later. So, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't planning that. What a curve. Okay. So what I ended up with is another one. This one. This one could curl either way. It could be going, giving us its back, facing the other way, or it could also be facing us. I think if it's facing the other way, it will give a more layered look, and that could be interesting. So I'll do that. So I'm curving it that way, and the center is here. Not trying to connect it, I can use the gap to my benefit. And again the sunburst. Once in a while I get thicker lines, and I like that. I think it has to do with the ink drying on my nib. Now this one is, I was really, I'm noticing that my petals don't connect to the cup. I was too quick in creating the cup, but it doesn't matter. This one I think is going the other way. It's open, like this. I can't fold my hand that much. I'm using again a visual anchor, something like this, and I want this curve because I want it to connect to my cup. Oops. I connected them too close. They should have met down here. That's all right. Not every petal is perfect. And this shape, I really see it as coming out at me, folding this way. So the center is hidden, like this. Now my ink here is dry, but I have to watch out from these fresh petals. I'm making my lines come closer to the center of this line, but I don't want them to meet because it's like this point of the petal and that it's starting to curve. So we are seeing the curve, but we're not seeing them meet. And because it's bursting like that, it's a proportion thing. Perspective. So somewhere around here I'm going to have a straight, almost straight line, and then it's starting to curve the other way. Something like this. Okay, next. Okay, here I have a very strange shape, and that's actually a great opportunity because I noticed that it's these very strange leaves that give interest. So this one, again, I see it like let's see, this is the center, it's going this way. That's quite obvious. Now I just have to plan my sun rays, where they connect and where they come from. Following the same sort of curve but changing it slightly so that we know that these lines are not parallel but that they will meet somewhere soon. Okay. Want another line here. Okay. This is a much more straightforward sort of leaf. I think it's slightly bending, but not too much because this one has so much movement to it. And it's curving, so it's like rounded. So this part is closer to us, and with perspective we will see the lines closer on the sides. So I want to give it that 3D look. Yeah. Okay, this one I see rounding like this, the other way. think the center is here, curving backwards, something like this. And this is a little confusing with this petal. Okay. One last leaf. This one I think it could be curving like this. No. Can also take it. That's easiest. Now, yeah, I think it's going this way. Okay. Although, when I look at it again, if I make the center here, that means that it has a very wide and rural side. So I should make this the center. So maybe something like this. Maybe. It's a little too even. What do you think? And I see that I have one more petal from last night. Just need to color my cups. And that's it. And I think these will look really nice with like watercolor stains, not precise, not in the lines but outside them. I'm going to scan my designs, clean them up, just clean the background. I like to keep the raw lines and the mistakes that I have. And then I'll probably print them, and maybe I'll film the coloring. We'll see. What do you think? Should it stand? I like it on the side. Maybe it's like this. So I hope you enjoyed this and maybe learned something, and that you will create your own versions. Take my ideas and fly anywhere you want with them. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.